The air on Mustafar is a toxic cocktail of ash and localized agony. Anakin Skywalker stands on the collection arm of the mining facility, his eyes burning with a localized Sith fury that rivals the lava below. Above him, Obi-Wan Kenobi takes his position on the black sandy slope, uttering the words that in another timeline marked the end of the Jedi Knight. "It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground." But this time, Anakin doesn't succumb to blind arrogance. The Force hums with a terrifying clarity. Instead of a desperate, flipping leap, Anakin centers his weight and waits. As Obi-Wan prepares to strike, Anakin surges forward with a blinding low-angle thrust, utilizing his mechanical arm's superior strength to catch Obi-Wan mid-air. The clash of blue blades illuminates the falling ash. With a brutal kick and a precise Force shove, Anakin sends his master crashing into the volcanic embankment, disarming him before the high ground advantage can ever be utilized. Obi-Wan lies defeated, his lightsaber clattering into the lava. Anakin stands over him, whole, unscarred, and radiating a level of power that the galaxy has never seen. "You were the one who underestimated my power, Master." Anakin growls, his voice steady and devoid of the mechanical wheeze that should have been his future. He doesn't deliver the killing blow. He leaves Obi-Wan broken in the dirt, a strategic choice to let his former mentor witness the new order he is about to build. Anakin turns his back on the man who was his brother and marches toward his shuttle. He is not a monster in a suit. He is a god in his prime. He feels the localized agony of Padmé's presence nearby, but his victory has filled him with a cold, absolute confidence. He realizes that with his limbs intact and his power peaking, he no longer needs to be Palpatine's shadow. He is the sun around which the galaxy will now revolve. As Anakin seals the hatch of his ship, he senses a massive presence emerging from hyperspace. Palpatine has arrived to find his apprentice, but he is about to discover that the man waiting for him is no longer a student, but a rival. The transformation is complete, but it is not the one Darth Sidious intended. In the sterile, dark chambers of the newly established Imperial Palace, there is no sound of a rhythmic, mechanical respirator. There is no towering black mask. Instead, there is the terrifyingly natural sound of a man breathing with the lungs of a champion. Anakin Skywalker stands before his master, dressed in dark flowing robes of Sith weave, his organic limbs strong and his golden eyes burning with a localized fury that no machine could ever replicate. "The Jedi are dead, my master," Anakin says, his voice clear and resonating with a power that shakes the very air of the room. Palpatine watches him from the shadows of his throne, his hands hidden within his sleeves. The Sith Master had planned to spend the next decade breaking a crippled servant, using the localized agony of a life support suit to keep his apprentice subordinate. But this Vader is different. He is the chosen one at the height of his physical and spiritual potential. He is not a blunt instrument. He is a rival. The strategic balance of the rule of two has been shattered. Because Anakin did not lose his limbs, he did not lose his connection to the midichlorians. His potential is not 60% of the Emperor's, it is double. Anakin feels the shift in the Force. He senses the Chancellor's growing hesitation, the subtle way Palpatine's grip on his lightsaber hilt tightens when Anakin walks into the room. The Apprentice has become a godlike figure to the Imperial military, a maskless warrior who leads from the front lines with a speed and agility that looks like magic to the common soldier. Palpatine realizes that the empire he built is now centered around a man who could kill him in a heartbeat. He begins to initiate secret protocols, reaching out to the dark side cultists on Exegol to accelerate his cloning projects. He needs a replacement before his current apprentice realizes that the throne is already within his reach. But Anakin is already one step ahead. He has begun to build his own loyalist faction within the 501st Legion, preparing for the day the Master must finally be discarded. As Anakin bows to his master and exits the throne room, he stops at the Great Viewport and sees a cloaked figure waiting in the lower levels, a survivor from the temple who carries a message from a woman Anakin thought was dead. The silence on the Mustafar landing pad is more deafening than the roar of the lava rivers. Anakin Skywalker, the unscarred conqueror, rushes to the side of the chrome Naboo skiff. He has won. He has kept his strength, his limbs, and his pride. But as he reaches for Padme, the Force does not hum with the warmth of life. It echoes with a cold, final stillness. In the original timeline, his transition into a machine was fueled by a confused, self-loathing agony. But here, the tragedy is witnessed through eyes that are perfectly clear and sharp. He kneels beside her, his organic hand trembling as he brushes a strand of hair from her pale face. There is no medical droid to lie to him, and no iron mask to hide his tears. "Padme," he whispers, a localized agony blooming in his chest that no amount of Sith power can dull. The strategic consequence of this moment is profound. Because his mind is not clouded by the physical trauma of burning, he does not lash out in a blind tantrum that destroys the room. Instead, his grief transforms into a lethal, surgical focus. Anakin realizes that the visions he fought so hard to prevent have come true regardless of his physical state. He stands up, his shadow stretching long across the metallic floor. He no longer blames Obi-Wan, and he no longer blames himself. He looks at the horizon, where the Emperor's shuttle is departing, and realizes that the Sith Master's promises of saving loved ones were nothing but hollow bait. This version of Vader does not scream. He simply stops feeling. He carries Padme's body into the ship with a rhythmic, haunting calm, his heart turning into a block of ice. He isn't going to be a servant of the dark side. He is going to be its master. The death of his wife has removed his last link to humanity, leaving behind a warrior who has nothing left to lose and an entire galaxy to punish for his grief. He sets a course for Coruscant, but he doesn't head for the Imperial Palace. He has a different destination in mind, a secret location where he knows the remaining Jedi are hiding, and he intends to offer them a choice they never expected. As the ship enters hyperspace, Anakin feels a sudden sharp kick from within Padme's lifeless form, a flicker of the Force so small, yet so vibrant, that it forces him to realize that while the mother is gone, the legacy he was promised is still fighting to survive. The Grand Throne Room is silent, save for the hum of the Coruscant wind whipping against the reinforced viewports. Anakin Skywalker stands at the center of the hall, his posture perfect and his presence radiating a cold, localized fury. He no longer kneels, he no longer bows. Darth Sidious watches him from the shadows of his throne, his gnarled fingers tapping against the armrest. The Emperor realizes that the Empire is quickly becoming a cult of personality, centered around the unscarred, heroic face of Lord Vader, rather than his own dark mystique. "You have become a liability, my apprentice," Sidious hisses, his voice echoing with a localized agony that shakes the floor. Without warning, the Sith Lord unleashes a torrent of Force lightning more concentrated than anything he ever used against Mace Windu. In the original timeline, a mechanical Vader would have been vulnerable to this attack, but this Anakin is whole. He ignites his blue blade in a flash of kinetic energy, catching the lightning and grounding it through his organic limbs. He doesn't just block the attack, he steps forward into the storm. The Grand Throne Room is silent, save for the hum of the Coruscant wind whipping against the reinforced viewports. Anakin Skywalker stands at the center of the hall, his posture perfect and his presence radiating a cold, localized fury. He no longer kneels, he no longer bows. Darth Sidious watches him from the shadows of his throne, his gnarled fingers tapping against the armrest. The Emperor realizes that the Empire is quickly becoming a cult of personality, centered around the unscarred, heroic face of Lord Vader, rather than his own dark mystique. "You have become a liability, my apprentice," Sidious hisses, his voice echoing with a localized agony that shakes the floor. Without warning, the Sith Lord unleashes a torrent of Force lightning more concentrated than anything he ever used against Mace Windu. In the original timeline, a mechanical Vader would have been vulnerable to this attack, but this Anakin is whole. He ignites his blue blade in a flash of kinetic energy, catching the lightning and grounding it through his organic limbs. He doesn't just block the attack, he steps forward into the storm. The strategic choice to remain physically intact has given Anakin a speed that Palpatine cannot match in his aging, corrupted body. Sidious draws his twin lightsabers, leaping from the throne with a screech of pure hatred. The duel is a blur of crimson and blue, a chain reaction of strikes that shatters the statues of ancient Sith lords lining the hall. Anakin fights with a calculated, surgical focus. He is not driven by the blind rage of a wounded animal, but by the icy resolve of a man who has already lost everything he loved. He anticipates the Emperor's every move, his reflexes heightened by a body that has never known the crushing weight of a life support suit. Palpatine's confidence begins to crumble. He realizes that by not breaking Anakin on Mustafar, he has created a predator that can survive even the darkest depths of his power. The battle spills out onto the palace balcony, overlooking a city that has no idea its gods are at war. Anakin parries a lethal strike and delivers a powerful force kick that sends the Emperor reeling toward the edge of the abyss. As Sidious struggles to regain his footing, he realizes his royal guards have not moved to help him. Instead, they have lowered their pikes in a silent salute to Anakin, leaving the Emperor to realize that the military's loyalty has already shifted to its greatest warrior. The high-altitude winds of Coruscant howl across the palace balcony, but they are drowned out by the scream of clashing lightsabers. Darth Sidious is no longer cackling. For the first time in his long, manipulative life, the Dark Lord of the Sith is experiencing something he hasn't felt in decades. Genuine, localized terror. Before him stands a version of Anakin Skywalker that he never intended to exist. A warrior with the face of a hero and the cold, unyielding power of a god. Anakin moves with a speed that defies human biology. Because his body was never broken on Mustafar, his connection to the Force has reached its ultimate, organic peak. Every strike from his blue blade is a hammer blow that shatters Sidious's defense. The Emperor attempts to summon a storm of Force lightning, but Anakin simply reaches out with a steady hand and crushes the energy in midair, a feat of pure willpower that leaves the Master defenseless. "Your time is over, Palpatine," Anakin growls, his voice echoing with a localized authority that resonates through the very foundations of the city. The strategic consequence of this duel is the total decapitation of the Sith Order. Anakin doesn't just want to kill his master, he wants to erase him. With a final, blinding sequence of strikes, Anakin disarms the Emperor and drives him to his knees. He looks down at the man who promised him life and gave him only lies. Without hesitation, Anakin delivers a killing blow that echoes across the stars, signaling the end of the Rule of Two. The Sith are dead, but the Empire is very much alive. Anakin turns to the gathered ranks of the 501st Legion and the Imperial Guards, his blue blade reflecting in his golden eyes. He doesn't ask for their loyalty. He takes it. He declares himself the Galactic Overlord, a ruler who will bring a permanent iron peace to the galaxy through absolute strength. The chain reaction is instantaneous, as systems across the galaxy receive the news. The Emperor is dead, and Lord Vader, unmasked and unstoppable, is now the sole master of all existence. Anakin takes his seat on the cold obsidian throne, but as he begins to issue his first command, a secret chamber beneath his feet begins to hum, and a holographic message from a hidden Jedi temple flickers to life, revealing that Obi-Wan Kenobi has survived and he is not alone. The transition of power is not a transition of law, but a transition of force. Anakin Skywalker, now the undisputed galactic overlord, does not waste time with the theatricality that Darth Sidious once favored. He views the Senate not as a tool of governance, but as a nest of localized inefficiency and corruption. Within 48 hours of taking the throne, Anakin issues Decree Zero. The Imperial Senate is not just adjourned, it is physically cleared. Troops from the 501st Legion march into the rotunda, their boots echoing against the floors where democracy once thrived. Those who resist are met with the cold, surgical precision of a ruler who no longer believes in debate. Anakin realizes that to maintain control without the shroud of the dark side's mysticism, he must rely on a regime of absolute discipline. He replaces the high-ranking Moffs with battle-hardened commanders who owe their lives to his leadership on the front lines. The strategic choice is clear. He is building an empire that functions like a singular, massive machine. The chain reaction of this new order is felt in every sector. Trade routes are secured with an iron fist, and crime syndicates that once flourished under Sidious's shadow are systematically hunted down and destroyed. Anakin does not hide behind masks or holograms. He travels from world to world, his unscarred face a symbol of both hope for the loyalist and terror for the rebel. He has replaced Sith mysticism with a cold, military logic. But this efficiency comes at a terrible price. The galaxy is quiet, but it is a silence born of fear. Anakin stands on the bridge of his flagship, the Executor, watching a planetary blockade take position. He believes he has finally brought the peace he promised Padme. He has traded his soul for a perfect, orderly universe. Yet, in the deepest levels of his command deck, his intelligence officers report a localized anomaly. A small group of elite clones has deserted their posts, taking with them a high-value prisoner whose DNA matches the biological signature found in the ruins of Mustafar. Anakin's icy composure cracks as he stares at the security footage, recognizing the tactical signature of the escape. It is a maneuver only one man could have taught those clones, a man he left for dead in the volcanic ash. The Coruscant skyline is no longer a chaotic web of flickering lights and unregulated traffic. Under the gaze of the galactic overlord, the capital has become a masterpiece of synchronized movement and cold, durasteel order. Anakin Skywalker stands on the highest balcony of the Imperial Palace, his organic hands resting on the railing. He is a man in his physical prime, his face unmasked, and his eyes reflecting the cold blue of the planet's artificial atmosphere. He has achieved what the Jedi and the Sith could not, a galaxy without war. But this is an iron piece. The strategic choice to prioritize security over liberty has turned every star system into a fortress. Anakin has replaced the corruption of the Senate with the absolute efficiency of the military. There is no rebellion in this timeline because there is no hope left to fuel it. He spends his days overseeing the training of a new generation of Force-sensitive enforcers, and his nights in the quiet, sterile chambers where the memory of Padme is preserved in marble and holograms. He watches his children, Luke and Leia, being raised within the palace walls. They are the heirs to a throne built on the ashes of two ancient religions. Anakin intends for them to be the final pieces of his legacy, the generals who will lead his fleets to the very edge of the unknown regions. The chain reaction of his victory on Mustafar has led to this moment of total stagnation. The Force is quiet, not because it is in balance, but because it is suppressed. Anakin believes he has won the ultimate battle, yet he feels a localized hollow in his chest that no amount of power can fill. He looks out toward the horizon, waiting for the day his children are old enough to stand by his side. He has become the singular pillar of the galaxy, the man who stopped history. But even in a silent galaxy, the past has a way of screaming. A high-priority alert flashes on his wrist link, bypassing all security protocols. It is a single image, transmitted from a remote outpost on Tatooine, showing an old man in brown robes standing in front of a moisture farm, holding a lightsaber that Anakin recognizes as his own. Anakin's grip shatters the stone railing as he realizes the peace he built is a lie, and the twin sons of his past are rising once more to challenge the dark sun of his empire.